The comet that didn't comet. Post-perihelion silence. On November 5, 2025, the Rave Observatory captured an image that sent shockwaves through the global astronomical community. There, floating in the void just beyond the sun's glare, was 3IATLAS, fresh from its death-defying plunge past the solar inferno. Temperatures near its surface had soared to over 770 watts per square meter. Ices should have vaporized. Dust should have erupted. A brilliant million-kilometer tail should have unfurled like a cosmic flag. But instead, nothing. The image showed only a compact, fuzzy sphere of light. No tail, no extended coma, no sign of the violent outgassing that defines every known comet in human history. Even more baffling, its appearance was virtually identical to a Hubble image taken months earlier, on July 21st, long before perihelion. This wasn't just unusual, it was impossible. Comets are dirty snowballs. When heated, they must sublimate. Yet 3IATLAS emerged from its solar encounter unchanged, as if the sun's fury had washed over it like rain on glass. And this silence spoke louder than any explosion ever could. If a comet passes within 0.2 astronomical units of the sun and shows no tail, said one anonymous researcher at ESA, then either our physics is wrong, or it was never a comet to begin with. The ghost from Sagittarius returns, mass, trajectory, and the near miss with Earth. New astrometric data has finally pinned down 3IATLAS's true scale. It is not a small fragment like Oumuamua, it is a colossus, 5.6 kilometers in diameter with an estimated mass of 33 billion tons, a mountain of interstellar material hurtling through our system at escape velocity. Its trajectory, now refined with post-perihelion tracking, reveals something even more unsettling: precision. 3IATLAS skimmed past Mars at 30 million kilometers, then swung perilously close to the Sun and is now arcing toward Jupiter without ever coming near Earth. In fact, its path appears to avoid our planet entirely, as if guided by an unseen hand. This is statistically improbable. Most interstellar objects enter on random hyperbolic paths. But 3IATLAS, its orbit is clean, efficient, and eerily optimized, almost as if it knew where to go and where not to go. It originated in Sagittarius, the same celestial neighborhood as the legendary WOW, Signal. Now it's leaving through Virgo and Leo, vanishing back into the galactic dark. But before it goes, it has one final act to perform. The third color shift, the bluish glow, and the spectrum of doubt. For the third time since its discovery, 3IATLAS has changed color. Initially neutral, then unexpectedly blue near Mars, it now radiates a soft, persistent bluish glow, even in the cold dark beyond the sun. This isn't reflected sunlight. This is intrinsic emission, or scattering from a surface that defies known optical physics. Dust clouds redden light. Ices scatter evenly. But a cold, 5.6 kilometer object glowing bluer than the sun? That implies either a non-thermal radiation source, like fluorescence or chemiluminescence, or a surface engineered to reflect short wavelengths, like a thermal control coating on a spacecraft. Harvard's Avi Loeb didn't mince words. Natural objects don't do this. If it's not outgassing, not rotating, not fragmenting, yet still bright and blue, then we must consider that its surface is designed. The bluish halo isn't just odd, it's a signature, and signatures imply intent. The acceleration without a cause, the 13% mass paradox. Here's the crux of the mystery. 3IATLAS accelerated near the sun in a way gravity cannot explain. This non-gravitational acceleration was real, measurable, and significant. Using standard cometary physics, Loeb calculated that to produce such thrust, the object must have lost 13% of its total mass, roughly 4.3 billion tons of gas and dust ejected like a rocket plume. So where is it? Nowhere. Post-perihelion images show no debris cloud, no dust trail, no enhanced coma. The object is as compact as ever. It's like watching a firework explode, but hearing no sound and seeing no sparks. This violates conservation of momentum. If something pushed 3 IATLAS, something must have been pushed away. Yet the sky is empty. Unless the exhaust wasn't gas, unless it was invisible, or never existed at all. The crust that shouldn't exist, JWST's revelation, 50 to 65 feet of alien armor. The James Webb Space Telescope has spoken, and its words are chilling. Using infrared spectroscopy, JWST probed 3 IATLAS's surface and discovered a dense outer crust, 50 to 65 feet, 15 to 20 meters, thick, chemically decoupled from the interior. This isn't space weathering. This is stratification on an industrial scale. The crust contains nickel-rich compounds, cyanide, and traces of nickel tetracarbonyl, a volatile, toxic substance routinely synthesized in human chemical plants but never observed in natural astrophysical environments. How could a comet form such a layer? One theory: cosmic rays over billions of years transformed surface ices into complex organometallics. But the data doesn't fit. The crust shows no signs of gradual irradiation. Instead, it appears uniform, coherent, and mechanically robust, like a protective shell. "This isn't a weathered surface," said a JWST team member off record. "It's a barrier." Something meant to survive. The tale that never was, cometary identity crisis. Comets have tails. It's in the name. But 3 IATLAS refuses. Even after perihelion, when solar heating peaked, it shows no dust tail, no ion tail, no anti-tail. Just a featureless coma, unchanged since July. Compare this to Comet Lemon, which erupted into a 20 million kilometer spectacle under far milder conditions. Or Neowise, whose tail spanned the summer sky. 3 IATLAS had every reason to shine, and chose silence. This isn't passivity, it's resistance. Its surface isn't sublimating because it can't or won't. The crust is too strong, the volatiles are locked away. Or perhaps there were never any volatiles to begin with. The two faces of observation, China's image versus NASA's silence. While NASA remains silent on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's high-rise images, China has stepped into the light. On October 2025, as 3 IATLAS passed 30 million kilometers from Mars, China's Tianwen-1 orbiter, equipped with high-resolution cameras, captured one of the closest views ever of an interstellar object. The image shows a bright nucleus, a faint coma, and, critically, a visible tail. But here's the contradiction. Tianwen-1, October, shows a tail. Rave, November, shows no tail? How can this be? One explanation: the tail disappeared after perihelion, implying rapid collapse or reabsorption. Another: the tail, seen by Tianwen-1, was not dust, but plasma, a temporary ion feature that vanished once solar wind conditions changed. But the deeper question remains: why has NASA not released its superior high-rise data? The public deserves to see what our most powerful eye in space witnessed. The billion-year journey, a relic or a relic of design. Scientists now believe 3 IATLAS has drifted through the Milky Way for over 2 billion years. In that time, it would have been bombarded by cosmic rays, interstellar dust, supernova shockwaves, magnetic fields. Such exposure should have eroded its surface, homogenized its chemistry, and darkened its albedo. Yet it arrived intact, bright, and chemically layered, as if preserved. The leading natural hypothesis: its original CO and CH4 ices were radiolytically converted into CO2 and complex organics, forming the crust. But critics point out, no known natural process creates nickel tetracarbonyl in vacuum. This compound requires carbon monoxide plus nickel metal plus moderate heat, conditions found in industrial reactors, not deep space. Is 3IATLAS a fossil, or a message in a bottle, sealed with technology?